Good morning on this rainy Wednesday in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Welcome to our 100 Ways to Stay Motivated based on Grant Cardone's book of the same name. So, today, what we're going to talk about on how to stay motivated. And the topic that we're going to talk about today is be willing to fail, knowing that failure is impossible. So, you got to be willing to fail. What is the one thing that stops most people from even trying? Is their fear of failure. Most people don't even begin to try because they think, I'm not going to do it anyway, and then I might as well not even start. But what if you couldn't fail? What if you couldn't fail at anything that you tried? Then what would you do? How would you be living? How would you be attacking every single day? I know, but you're like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Failure is not possible. But really, failure isn't possible. Your relationship to failure obviously has to change, right? Because if you feel and think that failure is a bad thing, then no one wants to fail. No one wants to even begin to try. But if you realize failure is a part of your path to success, and failure is just one way not to get something accomplished, then how does that change your relationship to failure? Right? The most successful people have failed the most times, right? Just pick someone that you admire, whoever that is. The people that come to my mind right away are Anthony Robbins. He had some business partners that stole some money from the company, and he had to spend an entire year on the road to make up the difference. So he could have looked at that as a failure. Anyone that's been in a partnership before that didn't go well knows that you definitely feel like you failed. Like maybe you failed to judge the person properly, or you failed to vet the person properly, or maybe you failed in your communication of how things were supposed to go, right? But if you stop there, like if I stopped at my first failed partnership, then I wouldn't be in the business that I'm in now. I wouldn't be in my martial arts school. I wouldn't be doing my coaching business because I would have been afraid to go again, right? So how is that? What does that mean? It just means it's only failure if you don't learn from it. It's only failure if you allow yourself to quit. That's what it means. So think back to a place where maybe you've let this happen, right? And it's completely natural and normal. And we were talking about this. I don't even know if we've talked about it in this series yet, or if we talked about it in the success habits. I know we're talking about it in our leadership program. The more you go out there and the bigger you try to be, right? You're going to get some pushback. You're going to get some resistance. There are going to be people that don't understand what you're trying to do. And if we let that stop us, if we look at that as failure, if we look at that as, my message isn't strong enough, or why should they listen to me, or the market doesn't need another person doing this thing or selling this product or selling this service, right? If we allow that to stop us, then we do fail, right? But if we take every one of those opinions, every bit of feedback, and use it to make ourselves better, to make our communication clearer, to make our product or service better, right? To get more confident in what we're selling, right? How do we do that? We got to up our belief in what we're doing. We got to go do what we talked about on Monday. We got to tap back in to the whys of what we're doing. Okay. That's how you can use it. That's how you can take all of those things and use it instead of failing, instead of saying or accepting that it's not what you want. Okay. If you stop, you're going to take yourself out of the game, and then you're just going to have to accept what is coming to you. So going back to what I asked you to do, like, how will you approach today if you looked at everything that you did as a success? I know we had an active shooter seminar here in April, and I promoted it and promoted it and promoted it. We reached out to police stations. We reached out to detectives. We reached out to security firms. We reached out to businesses. We reached out to a lot of people, and we found out that businesses didn't want to pay for the seminar because they didn't want to be liable if something happened based on the seminar that they paid for. And that employees felt like the businesses should pay for that knowledge. And the police officers, they have training of their own and they don't train civilians. So my event did not have as many people show up as I wanted. We had an amazing 7 people come, and all 7 of those people had an amazing time and got some great knowledge. But what did I learn? Well, I shared with my students, did I view that as a failure? Some people would, because we had 7 people show up, right? We didn't end up bringing in the coach that we had intended on bringing in because there were 7 people. So we Zoomed him in. We did the seminar anyway, though. We had 7 people who got the information. We had us as instructors be more prepared to do that seminar again. But we also learned where people's minds were. So I learned that we have education to do, because in this community at that time, so this was in April, people still don't think it's going to happen here. And since then, I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago, it happened at a local movie theater, right? So my job, I took that to understand that I am on a mission to educate. I've got to educate people. Part of the reason we're doing the success habits, part of the reason we're doing how to stay motivated and how to sell or be sold. We're not just talking about failing in everything in business. We're talking about as a person. We're talking about how you motivate yourself, how you get yourself to the success that you want to be, right? And some people were afraid to do it, right? They didn't want to come to that seminar because they don't want to admit that it could happen here, because they don't want to stand in there, and they're letting their fear of it possibly happening stopping them from taking proactive action and getting equipped and getting informed and maybe learning something that could save them or their family's lives. So that's how fear of failing at something can impact you, right? Because it's not just failing at business. It could be going after your education. It could be you saving money for college. It could be saving money for your kids' college. It could be you starting the business that you want. It could be you running your household in a different way that you want, right? It could be you saying no to things that you need to say no to, but you feel pressure. You feel pressure to do and be something because everyone else thinks that you should be it, right? So when we're talking about that, this is every place that it could happen. It could affect you. So I want you to empower yourself today with looking at your day differently. Look at what you would do if failure was impossible. How are you going to change the things that you do? How are you going to change how you do the things that you already have on your schedule? That is the question. So today's motivation moment is be willing to stay in it, be willing to stay committed, be willing to keep pushing. Okay. So I've shared with you, we're doing our next level coaching, and I've been getting some pushback, people not understanding what qualifies me to do it. And so I had to stop myself, ask myself, okay, well, why should these people believe me? Right. And then I started looking back at all of the years I've been training. I've been a martial artist since 2005. I've been doing my school. Since 2008. Right. And so I had to stop and evaluate my expertise. And I reached out to my instructor, who's been doing martial arts for, I want to say almost 40 years. So I asked him, like, why are people not having this make sense? And so his recommendation to me was write a book. Now, I have wanted to write a book since 2005. It was when I was running my computer company and I had an idea for a book. And I always found an excuse. I've always found an excuse. Now, during COVID, I actually did write a book, but you don't know about it because it's something that I'm afraid to be judged for, to be completely honest with you. But when he said write the book, and I'm talking to you about going for it and staying all in and doing it anyway, that's what I'm doing, right? So I wrote the book. I'm actually editing it right now. And by the end of April, you guys are going to get to read how to punch failure in the face, because that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about stepping through being afraid of being judged, stepping through and going anyway on if people are going to laugh at you, judge you. I don't care what people do. I just know that I'm going to write this book and I'm going to help at least one person. And the first person I'm going to help is myself, because I'm going to know that I finally did something that I've been trying to do since 2005. And I was writing the book and I was looking up a reference to, I was looking for a book that I was making reference to in my book. And I pulled out this little book. I don't even remember when I bought it. It was How to Write Nonfiction. That's how long that I've been trying and wanting to do this. So again, I say all that to say that I'm not asking you to do or step into anything that I'm not doing myself. Okay. When I'm talking about doing failure, you can hear my family up there. When I'm talking about doing it anyway and stepping into and not being afraid to fail, I'm right there with you. I am exactly where you are with all the fears and all the concerns and all the scariness. And the difference is getting it done. And what will happen? You guys will get to see, because I'm going to share it with you on these Zoom calls. So what have you been wanting to do? And are you going to continue to let whatever reasons stop you from doing it and being it in the world? I challenge you to take a step towards doing it today, to punch failure in the face. Let's punch failure in the face. Let's just go through it. And I will see you guys here on Friday. I'll see you here on Friday. Oh, and that's it. I'll see you here on Friday. I can't wait to see what you guys do.